Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Monday evening community call. We get together. I'm your host, Robin. Gregory will not be here this evening. He's at an important meeting that he had to get to. It wasn't possible to change, so you get me. But we have two really, really special guests tonight, and I don't want to take too much time, but just to say we're so glad that you took the time to be with us this evening. And we get together every Monday evening to review what's going on in our Live Younger community, to give updates of what's going on at corporate, and share all the great news and give you resources and tools. And tonight we have a double header. And I'm thrilled that I get to bring on our first guest. And there she is. Your lighting's not so good. People can't see you too well. Is there a way that you can close your curtain or turn your computer on, Julie? Can you do that? And Kai, why don't you wait until Julie's done to put your computer? Great, thank you. So while Julie's getting that figured out, I just want to share a little bit about this amazing woman that has joined our executive staff at LifeWave. When we met her, we were beyond thrilled, beyond the beyond. She oversees all of compliance. Her actual title is Senior Director of Global Compliance, and she's playing a critical role in shaping the company's global brand partner compliance programs to align with laws, regulations, and ethical standards. And her career path is very distinguished. Chief Compliance Officer, Vice President of Conduct Success, and Deputy Compliance Officer, Adjunct Professor, and Paralegal. Um, we are just beyond thrilled because I think all of you know that compliance is absolutely crucial. And we want to be partners with our compliance department. We want to understand how to best work together. And let me stop my screen share here and bring on Julie. And this is the woman that when I knew she joined, I went, oh my gosh, I'm thrilled. She's got a heart and a telephone. So, Julie, I'd love to, first of all, welcome you to the LifeWave community. We are thrilled that you're here. And if you could share a little bit about your background before coming here and why did you choose LifeWave?
Well, Robin, thank you so much. First of all, thank you for having me, and you look lovely today. And thank you, everyone who is here to, spending your time with us and listening to me, compliance, here on this call. I really appreciate it. Um, so let me answer a couple of questions. First, my background is I started in the legal field, and as my career progressed, I ended up, in the direct selling space, which to all of you, it's kind of where my heart is. Let me give you a little bit of, little bit about me. I grew up in a family of seven children. I was the second, which I always claim I was the first because I was the oldest daughter. And my mom really did direct selling. She did a lot of direct selling. And so she was very familiar with this space. So my heart belongs to this community. She would express to me that her direct selling, and this is not an income claim for all of you, but it did pay for some of our Christmases and our school clothes. So I do want you guys to know that my heart is with you, with those in the field. I know how hard you work to get your following and to also get people to join LifeWave. Why LifeWave? Well, I learned about the products through a contact, and they said you should try them. So we did. And I said, let me look at this a little bit closer. And I got to know Doug. I've actually known Doug in the industry for quite some time. And honestly, you guys, he is amazing because he has all of you in his heart as well, and looks out for your guys' best interests, for all of your best interests. So I thought it would be a pleasure to come and join LifeWave to really say, where can I help? And that's really part of the reason I'm here. Another reason is Doug was looking for somebody who could come in and who did understand the space, and really asked me the first question that Meredith and Doug asked me when I joined was, before I joined, my first interview question was, Julie, how do you see compliance? And my response to them, and it will always be, is I look at compliance as a partner to our brand partners. That compliance should be a tool in their toolbox for their success. And so um, I think they aligned with my strategy and how I really truly feel about compliance is that we are a resource. We're a resource to all of you. And I understand prior to me coming, the team was a little bit smaller. There's a lot to do. There still is a lot to do. But right now, my main focus is to equip you all with the right tools so that you understand, hopefully understand compliance as well as the compliance team. I know that sometimes people will call and they'll say, people will call you from compliance. Well, I guess they don't call before they've been basically sending you emails. We have changed that in the last 3 months. First of all, some things that you're going to see that if you haven't already is every compliance specialist will put their name on emails. So they should be putting their names on email, and that way you know exactly that you're talking to a person and that that person has your best interest at heart. The second thing that we just barely implemented in the last 3 weeks is we implemented a soft phone system where all compliance agents now have the ability to reach out to all of you. And that was, I felt like a very big missing piece because if we're going to partner with you, we need to be able to talk to you. So, where there was email only in the past, and possibly some text messaging, you will now, our compliance specialists have the ability to call each one of you. So that has also already occurred. There is a call-in number, but I'm not going to share that with you tonight. Let me tell you why. That because our team is limited in resources, we don't have someone right now who can pick up a phone and direct everyone. So basically, if you were to call in to the compliance phone number, you would get a voicemail. And what we would do is encourage you to leave a message so that we can direct that call to the right person on the team to help you. And making sure that you get the right expertise and the person who knows what's happening with your case. So those are some things that we have already implemented and some things we're working on. I'll give you kind of a peek behind the curtains a little bit. And some of the things that we are working on right now is we're working on something I call social sharing tools. What these social sharing tools are, you guys might look at them and go, "Oh, I don't know if I want to read these," but they are really going to be a foundational document. And it's a foundational document to teach our brand partners about what us in compliance are looking for and why. It's not just, hey, don't do A, B, C, and D. This is, here's some things you can do, and here's some best practices. And here's a column of things that you should avoid. That way, when compliance reaches out, this will be a resource that they will be able to send to you, to link to, so that you have all the information that they're looking at if they reach out to you. So you get some of the why behind why they might have reached out to you. If it wasn't something that you instigated because you were doing a transfer or a change or whatnot. The other thing that we're working on is our forms. I know that some of the forms have been a little confusing, maybe not straightforward. We're working on those forms to simplify those forms for you. We've got a lot to do, and we are working towards giving you the tools you need to be successful. And hopefully that compliance is, you can see us. I want you guys to see us as a partner, a tool in your toolbox to be successful. At the end of the day, we care about the business that you're building, and we want to make sure that we're giving you a good foundation to build that business on. So that's a little bit about me, my focus, what I'm working on, what I've been working on for the last 4 months that I've been here.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if you can hear it, but or feel it, but people are ecstatic in the background because we haven't felt like we could connect with with compliance, and it is truly a partnership. And I know that when I came out to corporate, I came on my own, and I had, a 2 hour meeting with Brian and Rodney, and all of a sudden it's like, there are people over there. There's a name, and I love that you're putting names to the letters and having a phone, because when I first spoke with you and you said, part of my job is to, you know, alleviate some of the stuck places. Where are things not flowing easily? And I went, oh my gosh, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so we are thrilled to have you on board. And all these tools are going to make a difference, because we know that we need to be in partnership. We know that we need to protect the company, that we need to watch out for things. And I've sent you a few things lately that you responded right away. And I know you took care of them, because that video wasn't there anymore. It was one of those non-compliant videos, and she was right on it, and it was important. But how can we, Julie, as brand partners, best work with compliance? What guidance can you give us to be better partners with you? Because we're all here to protect the same thing. We all want this to be a legacy company. We all want to be around for generations to come. And we know that we're no longer under the radar. So what can we do?
So that's a really, really good question. Um, so first of all, I would say my first objective would be really partnering with us. I think this is a great first step. As for me to be invited to this call, which I'm very honored to be here, and to have this open conversation with all of you, this is a great first step, is really to open up the conversation. The second step, I would say, is really look at what you're posting out there, and really do so in a way that is not going to cause harm to the company. Let me tell you something. Some things that you're going to hear from me is I am a straight shooter. I am going to tell you what I know from being in compliance in the direct sales industry for almost 15 years, a little bit, maybe a little longer than that. And I've dealt with regulators, I've dealt with class action law attorneys, I've dealt with a lot of the things that this industry has seen. And the one most impactful thing that has ever been said to me was by a regulator. And they sat me down, another company, and they said, Julie, look, this is what we're really, really concerned about. We're concerned about what the brand partners are putting out there to attract customers and other brand partners that actually harms the consumer. And I said, well, can you give me some examples of like some of the complaints that you hear? And the examples they gave me were examples of, and you guys, I just have to say right now too, so far everybody I've talked to at LifeWave, I don't want anyone to feel guilty if maybe they've made some mistakes or whatever, but everyone I've talked to at LifeWave, I feel like has wanted to do the right thing. And before I go into what they really care about, but what this regulator told me is she said, um, I got a call from, she goes, just yesterday, I got a call from a husband whose wife had maxed out her credit cards to get to an event. And this man was just lost his job and was looking for funds to feed his family to hold them over till he could find another job. And he was upset because he had not known, or his wife had been pressured to make all of these purchases. And those are the types of complaints that our regulators are getting. The other complaints are maybe someone had a health condition, and their last resort was to purchase a product. There was a customer, for instance, in one of the companies who she had a brain tumor, and her last resort was to buy this big, huge package from a protocol from a brand partner, that had written it down in an email. The sister-in-law was there as a caregiver, and she actually called me at this company and said, hey, I'm sitting here with this big medical bill and $5,000 worth of product that she'll never be able to use. And these are the kinds of things when we talk about what harms a consumer, these are really the types of complaints that our regulators get, that they feel harm the consumer, and they are very concerned about it. And so really our job from compliance is to guide you away from those types of claims and give you tips and tricks that could help you when you're posting. For example, I'm going to give you a tip right now. I'll give you an example. So when you are posting on social media or whatever, whatever channels you're using, I know that there's some people who are just heart to heart, table to table, you just talk. But when you're on, especially when you're on social media, um, we are a general wellness product. So this is the one, probably the biggest key I can give you. As a general wellness product, I know that we're working on different things within the company, but right now as a general wellness company, and a general wellness products, I like to explain general wellness products like this. Um, Here you have, I'm going to illustrate with my hands. Here you have what I call a wellness line. This wellness line is, it supports and maintains a healthy body. Whenever your body or somebody else's body goes below, like a headache, or sometimes, I'm going to say something extreme, like a disease state, like Crohn's disease or whatever, and your product brings it back up to this wellness line, then you're no longer a wellness product to the regulators. You are now a drug. To them, you are a drug. You're not a wellness product. And so one thing I would say is if you can talk about maintaining and supporting this healthy body that you have, or this normal body that you have. Our normal bodies go through a lot of things, I know, but this normal body, and you can keep it above that, right on or above that wellness line, and not go below that wellness line, you keep us in a much safer position from a compliance perspective. Now, the other day I did something, and you guys, here's a tool or a trick. You guys are living in the day. Those who post, okay, those who post use, they use technology. Um, we have AI nowadays, and AI can actually be a great compliance tool. I'm just going to tell you, it can be a great compliance tool. So I did something really just creative, because I thought, I want to I want to see if ChatGPT can give me take a non-compliant story and make it compliant. I wanted to test it. Now, it's always not always going to be perfect, you guys. I'm not going to say this like the cure-all for claims, but I did. And you guys, please don't hold anything against me for what I said. But this is what I told ChatGPT. I'm going to read it to you. I told ChatGPT, make the following compliant as I'm selling a general wellness product. You don't have to put LifeWave in there. You just tell them I'm selling a general wellness product. So make a note of that, general wellness product. I suffered years with Crohn's disease and had no energy to conduct day-to-day events. Non-compliant right there, okay? I patched for 3 weeks and my energy is back and I feel like I can go on living my life. Flare-ups occur less often. And I said, ChatGPT, please make this compliant for a general wellness product. And here was how they refrained. First of all, they told me, here's what you said to me that's not compliant. And it pointed it out. And then it said, here's a compliant version you can use. And let me tell you what it said. It said, I used to struggle with low energy that made daily activities difficult. After you energy and felt more able to enjoy my day-to-day life, I also feel like I experienced fewer interruptions to my routine.
Love
So
it.
just to give you good examples, this is what we are here for, you guys, is to help you get tips and tricks on how to share compliantly and still tell your story. Because I know there's a lot of people like, I want to tell my story. And I'm like, I know you do. However, if you tell your story and it's non-compliant, believe me, the regulators will be could be watching. And if it's not the regulators, you guys, it is the consumer advocate groups. It's competing brand partners at other companies. It's anti-MLMers. And then they take and collect evidence and send it to regulatory bodies. Um, or they file the complaints that I just talked to you about. So how you guys can help us is ask us those questions. If somebody reaches out to you and says, "Hey, can you change your post or can you take this post down?" Ask us the why, because I'm equipping my team right now to be able to answer those why questions so that you can have a better understanding. But also, once we launch these tools, which I'm hoping will be in the next couple of week or actually hopefully this week or next week at the latest, once we launch these tools and put them in the back office, look at them, read them, study them, understand. That will help you understand what our compliance agents, you guys are going to know everything our compliance agents know. I mean, really, these documents give you a lot of that background. So anyways, that's kind of where we're at.
Oh my gosh, Julie, music to my ears and my heart. Because a lot of people just don't know. And we,
Yeah.
as a team, because Gregory used to oversee compliance, we're probably one of the most compliant groups out there because we've been that way before we even had a compliance department. But this way, we're going to have the tools, everyone, and we'll be able to, most importantly, understand what Julie's talking about. Why is this not compliant? Why is this, perceiving that it's healing or curing? So we really, really are thrilled to have you on board and to be in partnership with you and work together to support this amazing company for many, many generations to come. So we're so grateful that you said yes. Thank you. And I love working with you already. You're incredibly responsive. I know that if something's stuck, you seem to have the grease to open it up, you know? And we're so grateful. Thank you for taking the time this evening, Julie, to be with us. We're really, really grateful. Any
Thank you for having.
final words before we move on?
I was just going to say thank you for having me and thank you for spending the time to listen to compliance. I really appreciate you. Robin, thanks again for this opportunity. Appreciate you
Oh, so
so
wonderful
much.
having you on board. Okay, night.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye. Good night. Have a good night, everyone.
thank you.
Bye
Oh my
bye.
goodness, how wonderful is that, you guys? Uh, we have, and I know that the word compliance for a lot of people didn't land with a really positive note, but now our relationship with the compliance department is different. And they were way understaffed and they just weren't able to handle what was going on. And they have staffed up and bringing Julie on board. I just want to share when there was some corporate executive meeting and they talked about bringing on Julie and then Wayne, when he heard who it was, he started clapping. She is an absolute find in our industry, in our profession, to have her on board at LifeWave. And I think everyone's going to notice that compliance has a heart and there's people to talk to and there's a phone number. How wonderful. Okay, so next, oh my goodness, we have some visitors. And without um, Kai and Lynette are here visiting. They come pretty often. It's wonderful that they come to our world and spend a few days here with us. And if it wasn't for the phone call from Kai, none of us would be here. And so we get to give the greatest compliment of all. It's all your fault. And this is a man who I actually call Yoda. I remember a visit we had a few years ago. All three of us were doing three-way calls with each other, and it was just so fun. And we're thrilled to have you. And you have a special treat to share with people this evening about kind of looking at the inner game of success. So I'm going to turn things over to you, Sir Kai.
Well, thank you, Robin. And it's just such an honor to be here with you and Gregory at your home. And I did have one thing I wanted to say about the compliance. I would love to see a website with one page with a chat GPT that's been trained by compliance, that someone could paste their text, their content in, and on the compliance site, it would translate it into a compliant thing. That'd be the greatest evolution that we could come up with if they could get that kind of programmed in a way. Anyway, just a suggestion,
It's a great one. It's a great.
because that would make it really fun. You wouldn't even have to know Chat GPT. You just have a box that you paste in and it comes back in a compliant format. Um, that's down the road, hopefully. So what I wanted to talk to everybody about, it's an honor to be here. And I've been learning a lot lately. I've been driving and traveling, and I've been listening to some incredible stuff. Dr. Wayne Dyer, particularly. And he had some gems that I've been just ruminating and thinking on and starting to put into practice myself in my own life. And I'm going to ask everybody, I only have 10 to 15 minutes here to speak. If you can grab a piece of paper, if you can grab any piece of paper that's in front of you and a pencil or a pen, I want to do a little exercise here just to start with, and then we'll go deeper into that inner game. Because the big piece that I've been learning about is the way that we have this internal dialogue, and these thoughts come up that are literally viruses. I mean, we're here about healing and healing, people with physical ailments and stuff like that with our products, which are amazing and really helping people get to that level of healthiness. But we have this whole thing going on with our inner dialogue and how we talk to ourselves, and things that we've learned from being a young child, like when we were around our parents and teachers and people that we respected. And it has a big effect on us, way bigger than we realize. And I think that limits us, and many of us don't progress as far as we could. We're so busy doing, instead of going more within and being and letting some of these things shift in us. And that's what I'd like to talk about. So with that paper and pencil, I'm going to ask two questions, and I'm going to give about 1 minute, and I'm going to just talk a little bit on top of it after I give this 1 minute. But I'd like everyone to write down and draw a line down that piece of paper, right down the middle. And on one side, all the things you've heard about money, what you've heard as a young child, and these sayings, things like, I'll give examples: money doesn't grow on trees, there's not enough, it's too hard, it takes too long, there's more week at the end of there's more week at the end of the week than there's money that I created. There's all these different kind of sayings that happen. Write down the things that you heard as a child and that you still think about a little bit, maybe. And then on the other side of the page, I want you to write down, if you had $2 or $3 million, if it was just all of a sudden you won the lottery and you had a lot of money, what would you feel about that money? What you could do with it? What would you do with it to, buy a house, help other people, set up a school, travel, the things that you would do to try to make a better world and make your life and your family's life better? Write those two lists. I'd like you to put that on that piece of paper. So while you're doing that, I'm going to speak a little bit, but please write that down. And I'm only going to give you 1 minute to do this because we don't have a lot of time. We're talking about the inner game, but on the outer game, easiest way to build once you get into the doing, this is more about the being that we're going to be talking about. But when you get into the doing, it's very simple. Just place yourself in great places. Do the things that you love. Like I love to go to meditation retreats. I love to go on cruises with people that are involved in marketing. And, there's lots of things. Maybe you want to go to Tony Robbins workshops, or maybe you love race car racing or dog shows. Whatever it is, go to the things that you really love, and you're around kindred spirits, people that are like you, and especially events that can last for 2 or 3 or 4 days. And just try to collect as many contacts as you can at those events. Just don't try to sell anybody there and anything like that, but just create connections, relationships with people. Make sure you get their business card, or they get in your cell phone, or you write down on a piece of paper. And then afterwards, then you're going to reach out to them. That's the outer game. That's a really great way. Now you can do that online, and there's different ways to do that through social media. But I love going to the things I like and rubbing elbows with people, and every month doing something like that where I have the chance to meet quality people that love what I love. And that's how I do my doing. But now we're going to talk about the being, the inside. So if you have that piece of paper, I would like you to look at what you've written on the left side, the things you heard as a child, and the things, if you won the lottery and you had a lot of money, that you could be able to do. And my question to you is, which side of that paper do you live on? Which side of that paper do you live on? Are you not in abundance? Are you living these things that you kept hearing over and over again and keep kind of replaying in your experience? Or are you living that life of abundance that you wrote on and the good things you could do? Because money can be, good or bad. If you, believe that you can do great things, then you might not think of the money is the root of all evil. So be really honest with yourself. Look at that. Which is your life looking like that's being, guided by? And if it's being guided by that left side, mostly, the inner game is the place that we really need to do our deeper work. And I learned some things that I'd like to share with you about how you can work with what I call mind viruses. There's another name for it is memes. And these are the thoughts that actually sabotage your success and not letting you live on that other side of the paper where you're able to be in abundance and do the good works that you want to do and for your family, for the world, and for yourself. So what that is you have to be honest. So this work is partly, from a guy named Neville Goddard, and another person is Byron Katie. It's kind of a combination of both these really great teachers. And Byron Katie came up with this system of questioning things. So when you start examining some of those statements or the things you think about, let's say there's not enough, or I don't have time, it's too hard to succeed. Other people can do it, but I can't do it, or I'm too shy, or I don't like to speak in front of people, all these different things. Start asking the question, is that really 100% true? And you're going to find if you ask the question, is that really 100% true? You're going to find that that's not necessarily, almost never it is. There's some part of it that's not really 100% true. And when you can really see that, then you ask the question is, what would my life be if I didn't let that guide my life? If that wasn't what ruled my life, if that wasn't what was really affecting me, how would my life be if I didn't hold that thought that maybe is a virus? It's an untrue statement that I mean, like in a relationship, you might say, I can't live with that other person. And, you're going through a divorce, but you've been divorced now for 2 years, but you've been living for 2 years without them. So you can live with them, so that's where that's not 100% true. And then if you let go of that thinking, what I call stinky thinking, then something can open up, something new can really have the possibility. And that's the first step. So if you really would love to have an abundance and you're having a lot of success with your LifeWave business, start imagining, once you've gone through that questioning, and envision, just use your imagination. That's the Neville Goddard's work, is use your imagination. Sit. I was doing this last night. I'm dealing with some things and I was wanting to work on that process of the inner game. And you just sit there and clear your mind as much as you can. Take some nice breaths and just get really settled. And then think that very positive thought that you have. Imagine what your life would feel like. And then the first step is to get into the feeling. How would that feel in your body? Like, let's say it was about being successful with your LifeWave business. What would that look like? What would that feel like? Sit there and feel it. It's almost beyond the dream boards that we create. Dream boards are a great piece and part of that, but go beyond that. Go within yourself and start imagining what that looks like, what that feels like, and live in that space and try to do that every day. You want to try to do that for like 10 to 20 minutes every day, maybe even twice a day, and especially just before you go to sleep. Like that last 5 minutes before you go to sleep, make sure you do a little session of that so that you can use that all that unconscious time of your dreaming to let that incubate and cook in you, of envisioning your success, what that feels like, how that feels in your body, and start doing that for literally weeks and months. Go deeper and deeper into that, and then start feeling and find props that you can do. Let's say you wanted to write a book. A good example is you wanted to write a book. You actually make a model. You get the name of your book. You do that first, and you put the name and you create a mock-up of a book, and you actually make a book with nothing in it, but it has the name and the picture on it that you want. And you say, I'm already there. I've already created this. I've already created my success. Find little ways that you can feel those successes and make examples of those and surround yourself with those successes that you make pictures of and know that you're living in your success already and you work from the end backwards. This is some of this metaphysical way that you can actually empower yourself to get there from the inner game, that you already are successful and that you were perfect. You were perfect when you were born, and you have everything you need. And it's really getting back. It's an adjustment. It's a realignment of yourself. It's not like you're changing, and that's the inner game that you could really work with to find your success. To kind of start working with what I call mind viruses, and when they pop up, you recognize them and you just let them go. Where, oh, I can't do that. That's too hard. That takes too much time. It's not possible for me. You just start releasing that and hold that thought of those positive thoughts that you were feeling. And you will find as you work on your being, your doing will become much more successful. And that's what I have to share today.
Oh my goodness. I hope people were taking notes because sometimes we don't even realize some of those deep beliefs that we collected from our past. And that was so beautiful, Kai. And last night we watched a Wayne Dyer movie together, and it was quite insightful and had a wonderful, conversation afterward that went to some great places. So, it's the outward actions, but more importantly, it's where we're coming from. And you gave people such great tools. And I love how you always go where the people are that you want to meet, and that's what we like to suggest to people. Do the things you love to do, and you're going to meet the kind of people that you want to have in your team. So I'm so grateful for you always sharing such great wisdom. Any final comments before we close?
Um, I just hope that people can really investigate. It's kind of like no one's doing anything wrong. It's not about right and wrong. We're all perfect, really, the way we are. And it's about investigating how we a lot of times live from these mind viruses that we keep ruminating, keep circulating over and over again in our mind, and have come to believe to be true about ourselves and our life. And they really aren't. And find every edge that you can find to replace those thoughts, to take time to work from where the vision that you want to be backwards, and it will find you. The truth is, at the end of the day, your success will find you if you allow yourself to be really open to it.
I love it. We need to be it to attract it.
Yes, most people want to find what they want. Like, I want to make more money. I want to have more success. We don't get what we want. We get what we are. And so this is a technique to become that through your imagination. And by becoming that, it's as real as if we created it, if we breathe life into it in that way.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much for coming to visit and sharing your great wealth of wisdom to everyone. I hope you guys were taking notes. What Kai shared could be life changing. Absolutely. Many years ago, I'm going to tell them the ship story, Kai. We were on our
Okay.
very first LifeWave cruise, and we're standing on the shore looking at our cruise ship. And our organization was about 5,000 people at the time. It was about the size of our cruise ship. It was the 15th anniversary cruise. And Kai looked at us and said, pointed to the ship, and he said, "That's your group now, but pretty soon you're going to have a fleet." And so he knew it. He saw it. We now have a fleet. Thank you, Kai. Okay, well, we've gone a little bit over. And so, what I want to do is just briefly go through our newsletter so everyone can have a chance to take a quick look. It was so fun looking at the comments. I think everyone's in love with Julie. And for good, she's not, as Janet said, your typical compliance person. And she does have a big heart and a telephone. So there's some great changes that she shared. And we always like to put up the link for the newsletter that comes from the company every week and do a little review, plus the Monday update on LifeWave North American Business Builders. So this is a combination. 6 days for renaming the bulk ticket transfer. So if you bought a bunch of tickets, the 14th is a deadline for that, as it is for being recognized at the conference at your next lifetime rank. And there were some wonderful events in Taiwan and Thailand that you'll see in the newsletter. 43 days to the conference. We get to be together. And then every once a month, the company is doing a new brand partner webinar. And so Shirley's going to be hosting that one. That's on Wednesday. We have the flyer here for the California regional event. There's quite the cast of characters there. Wonderful leaders are going to be sharing with you. And this is something new this year that I want to make sure everyone's clear about, because they said the conference was the 22nd to 25th. And this is the first time we've had breakout sessions. So getting there the evening of the 22nd, because all day Thursday are breakout sessions. And they're doing something they've never done before. They are having a whole day of Hispanic breakout sessions also. This is included in the conference registration. There's no extra fee for this. You have any Spanish speaking people, they can go to the Spanish ones, or everyone else can go to all the other breakouts. And then the first ever Hispanic tour, 3 cities in the US. It'll be someplace in Orange County and Houston, I believe. I wrote it down earlier, and Miami. And then there's going to be an event in Puerto Rico, another one in Mexico. All of those are after the conference in November, and stay tuned for all of that. Those of you that are going for the incentive trip, the cruise, there's the tracker. Keep going. And up on the North American Business Builders, they have the people that are on the leaderboard right now. There's still some tickets left. There he is. There's the man, Elton John. I think some people are just coming to see Elton John, but we won't say that. We know we're coming because David sees conferences as an opportunity for innovation. And as amazing as last year was, it was the most amazing event I've ever been to. This year is going to be even more amazing. And so he just can't help himself of delighting us, surprising us, and with his amazing generosity. I think we've talked about the personalized website enough. Our week at a glance. Tomorrow night, we have the wonderful Sunshower Rose hosting Dr. Kathy Wong on our Power of the Patch showcase. If you can't make it live, you can go to POP webinar. It's a wonderful opportunity to share LifeWave with people. This is an opportunity to bring guests. Wednesday, there's the new brand partner event. Thursday, we always have our business training, which has been really wonderful through the weeks. We've had such great participation from our leaders, and we're so grateful. And then Doc Talk, I get everyone that's new and all of my brand partners and all of my customers on Doc Talk because it builds belief and credibility like nothing else. And people get to see the community. Are these the kind of people I want to hang out with? So there's the tools, the insulated patch pouches. If you haven't gotten them yet, this is a great thing to have as a gift to your teammates for a rank advancement or a gift of any sort. And this is Jenny's link. Jenny was introduced to us by Kai. She lives on Maui. This is her photography. I commissioned her to make this for us, and they're insulated on the inside, so they will protect your sleeves. And you can get the little credit card wallet from Amazon for, carrying in your purse or pocket. Okay, the quick access URLs, a text reminder service 30 minutes before our Zooms, we have text reminders, and we have all of these on our Live Younger YouTube channel. So you can reach out to those things. And just a little reminder, if you're having any questions about your personalized Live Younger site, this is just Live Younger, it's not LifeWave, please go to this email and you'll get a quick response. So thank you everyone for being with us tonight. We went a little later, but we had 2 very special guests, and I'm so grateful that they both took the time to be with us this evening. So thanks everybody. Bye-bye.